It's the love on the south side, yeah, that's right. Reppin' Inglewood, got my hustle tight. From Chi-Town streets where the wind blows fierce, built up like steel, can't nobody pierce.
Oh, hey, 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 hey. Hey, this your girl D Love from the South Side, Inglewood for Life, Chicago, that is. And I am back. Yep, I'm back. Not on a road trip. I'm not anywhere. I'm at home today. Hello to the Rewind crew. Sorry. It's funny when you see yourself, you be like, oh, something. Right. I just came online because if no one shows up, I know the Rewind crew will be here. So let's talk about my adventures on yesterday. I really went to the Flint because I wanted to go back and hear what is the problem with Flint without all the noise. And I'm glad I got a chance again to speak with Miss Beverly. Hey Joyce, how you doing? And girl, my phone kept getting hot last night. It going home and it kept shutting off. So I was like, I'm just frustrated with. I'm here for 3 minutes, about to punch in. That's my girl. That's my first lady. Y'all say, hey, first lady. Joyce, I appreciate you being with me all day yesterday. I thank you. It means a uh, a heck of beans or bigger beans. I don't know. I can't get these little phrases together. But I just want to say I actually went out there because I just needed to understand what is going on because I felt like, wait a minute. I thought the water crisis was resolved. And I realized no, they it's not resolved. And the people would tell you they still have problems. And they are frustrated. I know you. I just want you to know from the heart. These people I just want to hear the people really express themselves and tell us, hey, hey, daddy, how you doing? I appreciate all you do and that you do for the channel. Thank you again for everything. I'm glad that I went yesterday. Um, but I'll be like talking about water while I'm drinking my listen, listen. I got my water right here. And I just want to say, for those who have good water, filtered water, and your city and towns are taking care of the business, congratulations. But I don't know if you know, but there's parts of Michigan that are who are not taking care of the business. So we know that Flint has a water problem. Flint has so many problems, y'all. Flint got drama. Flint has drama. Fl- Flint has a crisis going on. You're right. Praying for Flint. You got to. The water problem's not over yet. What Joyce said. Oh, we got to watch the meeting. Yes, at the committee meeting, R.L. Mitchell said it was the last day for people to sign up for house taxes. Oh, that's why the lady there in the was she had a pink or a yellow on was there for. Okay, we got to watch that. We're gonna watch that today. We're gonna watch it. Watch that committee meeting, the budget. Because when I was there, I left because there was no public comment, so they didn't want to hear from nobody. But I'll see how RLJ talk. And I don't know if you know this or not, but I realized this today that Benton Harbor, Michigan also had problems with their water. Did you know that? And Benton Harbor is predominantly African American blacks, just like Flint, Michigan. I did not know that. Hey, Bay Solo, how you doing? All is well. Hey, Gardis, how you doing? Glad you can join us. I did not know or realize. Glad you made it back safe. Yes, I appreciate you so much. I made it in one piece. I was so glad my phone kept overheating. I said, I'm over this overheating. I didn't want to mess my phone up, keep letting it overheat. I just was about to remind you about Benton Harbor. Yes. I said, wait, Benton Harbor? I think they told me like last year. Good to hear that. Thank you, First Lady. First Lady came in. She on her way to work, but she is here. Yeah, so Benton Harbor has that apparently they had the same issues. I didn't go, and I may take a trip to Benton Harbor also, so I could just ask people also because there's an article I'm going to show it to you because we want to talk about that meeting yesterday. It's called Courthouse News Service, and in that court, let's see. Okay, first of all, I want y'all to know this because I think that you should know the story, and like this is not the end. And I was one of those people who's like, oh, that's all they taking care of that. It's already taken care. They got the what's that called on their? They got the filters on their water cap, so they should be all right. Let me tell you, everything ain't what it seems to be. I'm gonna tell y'all that now. So let's look at. Hey, Joyce. Oh, Gardis. Oh, they arrested an activist a couple of years ago, Reverend Edward Pinkney, for protesting the presence of Whirlpool, the company that is all polluting the water in Benton Harbor. Oh, that's why they said it's contaminated. That's oh, okay. Thank because in this article from the courthouse news service, they talked about let me move this. Thank you, Gardis. Like it's something wrong with Michigan and something wrong with the certain communities that have and this is a 2000 this was issued back in 2011. Now, and this is about the water crisis. And they had asked for them to reopen this let me tell you what this article about. This article about 100 children in Benton Harbor, Michigan are urging the Sixth Circuit Court to revisit a lawsuit against the state and the city official over lead poisoning from contaminated drinking water. And Gardner said it's from the water pool contaminating the water. This is crazy. Michigan really has some answers. They need, but who's going to hold them accountable, right? If it doesn't affect you, you don't it's not you're not gonna do anything. And it's if you live in a community that doesn't have these issues, it's not your problem, right? Now, does this article talk about the children claim these officials knowingly conceal the crisis over 3 years, and this is in Benton Harbor, Michigan now, which leads levels were more than 50 times the safe limits. Crazy, right? Crazy. Now the case it was dismissed in 2022 due to qualified immunity for the defendants. Now they ain't say who the qualified defendant. These class defendants consist of city defendants were the two groups were the defendants consist of the city and state official Thomas J. I can't Romney Me Jr. of Bowman PLC in Detroit, representing the city defendant, and argues their actions did not raise the actual negligence. Mm. The rules of the state and federal government do not require an immediate cessation of the delivery of water after testing for lead. Remini said. There is a treatment program they're planning. It's 6 to 12 months before they're even required to implement corrosion control. So the idea we have to immediately stop is somewhat silly. Crazy, right? So that's what it says. This case was dismissed in 2022 due to disqualified immunity for the defendants. Though we just share similarly with a Flint, it shares similar with Flint water crisis, but differs in case of some it differs in cause. See, the plaintiff argued the official failed to act despite knowing about the lead contamination required and ignoring EPA guidance. Among amount to conscious shocking behavior. They knew that the Benton Harbor water system had tons of lead surface lines. Only 2% were known to not be lead. And remember, this is 85% of this community were African Americans. In Benton Harbor, same as Flint. Now, the attorney for the defense argued that there is no constitutional rights to drinking clean water and that their corrosion control method were standard. Judge questioned whether the officials' actions showed deliberate indifferences, especially given the poor infrastructure and delayed response. Now, you got to remember, Benton Harbor is a predominantly black and low income city and has faced water issues since a financial emergency in 2010, which crippled its water system. And I'm going to put this article in my bio so you can read it. They said the Benton Harbor town is 8,000. What was this in 2011? The emergency was lifted in 2016, but the plaintiff claimed the water plant still lacked a financial resource to deliver safe drinking water through an aging infrastructure. Uh, and the plaintiffs claim they are entitled to the same protection afforded to children of Flint. While defendant argued that the lower court correctly ruled they are entitled to qualified immunity. That's crazy. How could Flint how could Flint and uh, Benton Harbor have the same issues? I don't understand that. But Flint and this one article, let's see if I can show you. I found an article. They said the water in Benton Harbor was cleaned up in 18 months. 18 months. And they no longer have to use filter. Now, that's what when I talk to people in Flint, Flint says, yeah, we have filters, but people are still getting sick. That's what I was told. Holding them accountable for the citizens knowing about the water crisis with the water. And I think that's why they don't want Miss Beverly Biggs Levy in that seat because she's gonna expose it. She told me she's gonna tell. Hey, Alona, I miss you. I came down yesterday. I didn't see you down there. Definitely. You know we're gonna talk more about it, right? Uh, Unusable water is the new weapon against black communities. Yes, it is. Hey, Granny G. It's happening everywhere. Not far from here in Southland. Oh, University Park is having drinking water issues. Now I remember that because my friend she used to live there. She said, "Don't drink the water over here. Don't move over here." I heard, "Oh, okay." Yes, Joyce. I know it's DW's birthday. I'm supposed to go on there sometime today. When this live is over, I'm going to jump to his live to wish him a happy birthday. Michael, When God give us water, it was clean and he didn't make us pay for it. And that's what I was talking to, if you have a chance, go to 810 if you want to stay informed on what is going on in Flint, Michigan, and with the water crisis and everything else. Check out 810 on YouTube. And they are actually at and videotape all the meetings there. And they said, because I don't know if you heard me in there, because I know it's a long video that I did yesterday. They said that they they don't brush their teeth in the water. They don't cook with it, even though they have filters on it, but they take a bath in it. And I don't know. If it going up your cat, it's gonna go. If it go in your mouth, it's going your cat. Is you gonna? It's some that I wouldn't do that, but I don't live in that, so I don't know. Aluna's here though. Aluna's from Flint. Hey, Flint, Aluna. Oh, she's not able to drive yet. Okay. Flint officials switched water supply to save money. Yes, they did. Sound like there was no change like Flint. That is true. And you're right, Mike. And I was going to talk about that. And I thought that was the craziest thing. Um, oh God, let me close my door. Okay, I thought that was the craziest thing. Like, oh, they was trying to save. They was getting their water from. Hold on, I got that. I wrote it down. Let's see where did I put it. Hold on, yes, I had to look that up. I was like, where were they getting their water before Flint? Okay. Now, before the water crisis, Flint, Michigan was getting its water from Detroit Water and Sewage Department, DWSD, which drew its water from Lake Huron, treated at the Detroit Water Work plant. That's the most important thing. The water was treated at the plant. They done changed it up, baby. They changed it up on us. Now, what changed was in April 2014, Flint switched its water source to the Flint River. How they switch it from the river? If you watch, they must don't watch Naked and Afraid. As a temporary cost savings measure while waiting to connect to a new regional water system. What is that called? Carrigaldi Water Authorities. Where is that located? Okay. Now, the Flint River water was not properly treated for corrosion control, which caused lead to leach from aging pipes into residents' tap water, triggering the public health crisis. Ain't that about nothing? Hey, Saint, send it to these people to hit the like button. It don't cost you but a dime or a free 99. Hey, Saint. Now, before 2014, Lake Huron via Detroit system, 2014 to October 2015, just 1 year. Flint River caused the crisis. Dang, that was a year. A little over a year. That was over a year. Man, it did it bad. October 2015 onward, returned to the Detroit water system, now under Great Lake Water Authority. Also, they went back to the Detroit. Interesting. I'm like, what happened to the EPA? Hey, Lisa Lee, what happened to when they switched it over? They didn't have an engineer or anything to tell them like it may or may not safe or we need to do something. Hey, listen, even in my own home, when I had got my refrigerator that you had to, I never, how you say, that has a little water thing in it on your refrigerator. So they had to do some work and tap into the existing water line. And listen, I was testing that water every freaking day. I went on Amazon, got the little strips. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm just saying. Why didn't the government do the same? Why didn't it do the same? So the key takeaways is the crisis was caused not by the switch itself, but by the failing to properly treat the Flint River water. That's why I have a picture on the thumbnail of the water, the Flint River water, especially neglecting to add corrosion inhibitors. That makes lead catastrophic lead leaching from old pipe and something that now used as a textbook case in public health and environment. Wow. Let's see, within federal safety. So the lead level in 2014 to 2015 was up to 13,200 ppb in some homes. Now, its return to safe level is 15 ppb. So, but it has to frequently be tested now. And it says health impact, leading lead poisoning, skin rash, Legionnaires disease outbreak, and its ongoing monitoring, godly, on ongoing monitoring, long term health impact is still intact. And this is what coming up on the internet. They have a long term health has been impacted still from the situation just for those, what's that, a year and a half? Mm, I feel that's what I'm saying. Like, what they fighting for? Oh, parts per billion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, oh, she said, I know I'm not able to drive yet. Knee replacement. Oh, okay. Well, my goal is I hope and pray that I'm able to come down in May. Hopefully, once, because there's an election in May for um, Beverly Biggs Levy. I would like to come there that day for that, and we'll see. They are selling water all over the world. Ooh, made it. Mm. Yes, they changed to the Flint River. How would they do that? That they just put the hole in the thing and it just, I don't know. It's just crazy how they did that. Hey Lisa. The senator came in and switched it. Oh, the senator from Detroit, Michigan to Flint River. He jumped ship and he got kickbacks because he came to Flint, Michigan to destroy the water. That's what you said, Joyce, yesterday. They came to kill, steal, and destroy. And they can't get that $94 million, huh? Would you be better to dig? It would have been better to dig a well. Right. I don't fresh water. I'm like, they don't watch Naked and Afraid? Hey, Ernestine. Ah, appreciate you. How you doing? How you doing? Miss Smith. Yes, but the only change the pipes on the outside of your house. They didn't change the pipes on the inside of their houses. So, Aluna, who's responsible for changing the pipes on the inside of your house? Now, I'm sure it's because I want to get to this the meeting, the budget meeting. Who's responsible for that? Um, and also, I know that you're a Flint resident. How do you feel about this in-house fighting that's going on? Like, it's so weird to me. And I'm gonna tell you it's weird to me because first of all, a lot of the people up there are African Americans. And so y'all fighting with each other, and these people are still having some issues. And I asked some people yesterday, I said, well, Michigan is known, they have like hospitals and stuff, great hospitals. And why doesn't the doctors say anything? They said the doctors do not wanna have no parts of it. I said, "That seemed like there'll be a conflict of interest of being morally, um, and what is it called? Like, you have to be morally and ethical. If you see something, you got to report it, so you just don't have to if you don't I don't understand, they don't have to report it? Like, this is confusing why they're not more done. As a one-time vet tech, go on, girl, I took microbiology, and yet that's a big note for me. Mm. Oh, the Jolly Green Giant and Judy has pledged loyalty to the mayor. But how do you homeowners? Oh, and a lot of them cannot afford it, huh? S- mm, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So I wonder. That's unfortunate. This has been going on for years. Yeah, I see. I see. Are you talking about the infighting and stuff? And because I was shocked when I saw the the 84-year-old lady and no 67 years old and the young guy. He got to be like he might be like he's under 40. I know that for sure. And he said that she threatened him. I'm like, y'all should be working together, not apart. But they just like that's the part I'm saying because they should at least come up, a federal government, somebody come up with money to help update these properties so that people they can't afford it, the updating the piping in their homes, that the government or someone to help supplement that. Why hasn't that happened? If that's the case, it's all you need to do is change the pipes inside your house because if I think about it, that's it. Because if I think about it, and just saying, you let me know if I'm wrong or not. If the pipes inside of your house is bad and the water is coming through to your house, but then it's gonna go back because it goes to the least form of resistance. I had to learn that the hard way. So the water it really is still going, it's still bad because it's contaminated and then it goes back. So just let me know. I mean, I'm no chemist. I know because they not receive the money for the water. Because so if right. So it would behoove them to make sure every house, I know can be costly, piping is fixed so that it's no longer contaminated for even the one for those who change the put a filter on their water, on their faucet. Like, you ain't gotta be a rocket science to figure some of this stuff out, right? And a lot of homes owner insurance will claim it has pre-existing condition and deny the claim. You're right. You're right. Because I'm like, ah, you are so right. So you at some point you like you don't even know who to blame anymore, to be honest. Because see, but they fighting with each other. But you all, and my question is, the people on that city council, they all live in them wards and those areas where the water problem is. I only say that because if I have to use it, I need to make sure it's at least halfway. Listen, I live in Illinois and I still use I use filter. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. You should have seen the children who had skin was peeling. Oh, That's what I'm saying is, where is the fight for the children? I couldn't have children there. I would never have had kids there. Hey, I ain't see you there on no low. So the water doesn't get treated. So they are back from my understanding where who said so they went back to using um Detroit. Went back to using Detroit filtered water system. So let me ask you a question then. If they went back to using the Detroit water system, if they went back to using Detroit water system, it still has to go through the process, right? And then it goes out and it goes to Flint, Michigan. But how does that work? But again, if the water is kicked back and going back, you know how water the the resistance of water and how it travels, wouldn't some of those particles still come through the faucets people in different areas who using Detroit water filtration? I'm just asking. The only way to fix it is to first fix the city pipes, okay? Which means replace all of them. And then homeowners can do their part. It does no good for homeowners to have a new pipe if the city have lead pipes. Drop the mic. All those got Joyce. All of those got that money from the water they moved out of Flint, Michigan. Well, not everybody. Because I was talking to Diane was in here yesterday. She lives in Flint, and she said they have not received any money. Her daughter has not received any money. Question: can the resident get a petition together and take it to the Capitol and demand that the city and the mayor and the city should be able to fix the pipes in their homes? Good question. Thank you, Saint. Love you, honey. Aluna, and Luna is also a Flint resident. I moved to the suburbs in Flushing, but I still own a home in Flint. Oh, you do? Mm. So do you? So your home in Flint? It's like everybody got own property in Flint. Um, do you in that property? Did you change your water in? I mean, change your pipes in your property? I know that could be costly, and I like that. And that's a good. I like that one, Granny G. Can they have a petition? Put a petition together to demand that they clean and fix these pipes because it's just counterproductive to me. Like if I was in Detroit, did I drink water in Detroit? I don't think I did. No, I think we brought bottled water. I brought bottled water. I didn't even drink water in Detroit when I went. But that's a good question. And I wonder have anyone have ever thought of it. Because if the mayor doesn't want to move and do anything, they don't want to tell you where all this money's at. All of them haven't received the money as of 25th, 2025. That is correct. That is correct. And again, I had talked to the tall guy, the white guy with a nice, the not white suit on. He's a city councilman. I think his name is Jerry. I don't want to say his name wrong. And I had asked him. I don't know if you heard me on Monday. I asked, well, if you're taking or you're getting money, grants or anything, don't you have to have an audit or something to show what the money was spent on? He said they can't even get a copy of an audit. Not one dime. Mm, that's a shame. That's a shame against God. Children are drinking this water. I saw kids walking down the street while I was there. I was like, man, that's something to your heart should drop. Because mine's dead. I would hate that for one of my children or grandchildren have an issue like that because somebody didn't do enough. Somebody didn't do enough. That's crazy. And they up there fighting with each other. That young dude, he fighting with the 67-year-old because they don't want her in that seat. And she told me they don't want me in that seat. I said, yeah. She said, yes, they don't want me in that seat because I said, oh, because you gonna tell it all. She said, I'm sure am. I don't want nothing to happen to her, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Watch part of this. Uh, whoa, look. Alona said it costs 6,500 to change the pipes in the inside of your house. That's what she had paid. I w and I'm not you don't have to disclose this if you don't want to. Could you have wrote this did you write this off in your taxes? I'm like, what incentive did they give the residents besides your life, um, to pay it? And it is like, knowing that you have to pay 6,500, um, what is the chances that somebody tries and scan scam you? Like, I don't know, most houses have been fixed with the pipes. Oh, okay. Hey, H. And I wanted to go, hey, Cheryl, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, most houses have been fixed with the pipes. But the problem is everybody house needs to be fixed, right? Because if everyone's house is fixed, then let's do this while I'm talking. Everyone house, if everyone house is fixed, then you don't have to worry about the house next to you that didn't get fixed and you still getting the lead. Thank you, Saint. How you doing? Oh, I think that's me right here. Oh, yeah, that's me right here. You can't see me. I'm a little too black right there. Yeah, girl, have a heart conscious and more. You got to in this world. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, H. We just waiting on the city council. The schools have water system put in all Flint school buildings. Schools have a double one. Some people said, well, Alona, some people told me that they were still getting sick. What's your thoughts with that? I don't know why they get it like this. Let's move on. They didn't even start on time, let me tell you. Uh, um, oh, that's me right there if you're trying to figure out where I'm at. Um, the council wards was the first to fix the pipes, and the mayor, the city would take care of the pipes. And if you pay out of your pocket, the money from the program will give you your money back. Oh, so Joyce, what's the problem? Why isn't the pipes fixed then? If you most people can't afford to pay $6,500 out their pockets. I get that. I get that. That thing was 3 hours long. Oh, y'all see Jedediah right there? Hey, Miss Malone, how you doing? They put this on here so they can block a whole lot. How long was this thing? This thing was 20. They were late. They didn't start till about. It's not a very clear video, is it? Now, who's the lady in the yellow? I couldn't figure her out. She didn't speak to me or anything, which doesn't matter to me. Oh, this they're gonna have everybody seated, but they don't realize they didn't have a quorum. I have a fact about how the city line connects to the resident line. Oh, do share. Because they ran out of money. Oh, some underhanded kickback was going on. That I can see. And what was frustrating me about this city council, from my understanding, a lot of these people make six figures. I don't know how true that is, but I'm like, how can you make six figures in a community where they are struggling? I don't know. And they said somebody was who said that in this chat. They said yesterday was the last day. RLJ or RJL said the last day to file for your home owner's taxes or something like that. Hmm. Sorry. I'm on mute just talking. Thank you, Mike. That was interesting information. I appreciate it. Mm, that makes sense too. Who is the guy in the what church? You say he doesn't know anything. That's why they don't want Miss Beverly up there. Cause she gonna tell it. And I don't understand. Huh? Oh,
Have you heard, do you want me to, calling this council meeting back from recess? Madam Clerk, have you heard from the other two council members?
I did hear from one who will not be in attendance, Mr. Pfeiffer, and I have not yet heard back from Mr. Jarrett. Currently, you have two council members present, Mr. Alamin and yourself, Ms. Priestley.
The time is 5:01, and I hereby adjourn this meeting due to a lack of quorum. It is now 5 o'clock, and it's time for budget hearings for the Business Services Division.
this the
I'm going to
part.
turn it over to, who's going to be the lead on this?
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
just want to state for the record and for the public, we are now entering this budget hearing, and there is no public speaking during the budget hearings. It's open to the public, but there is no public comment period.
So it's 5:02, and I'm calling this budget hearing to order. For the record, we have Mr. El Alamin and Judy Priestley present at the moment.
Oh, Mr.
So who's
Alamin.
going to be the ones presenting?
It's the
You
man
better.
in the left seat. Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I don't know why. Is it on? It's not on Davina. Davina. Davina, their mics aren't on. Give us a minute.
They all over the place. I think she seemed to me nice. I mean, I just seen him come off the elevator.
Try it now, Phil.
Okay, no, much better. The budget we're going to be looking at tonight is the Business and Consumer Services Division. And this includes all things like the planning, zoning, economic development, parks, streetlights, maybe?
Yep.
Maybe.
Streetlights, you're talking about entitlement grants and some state grants, DNR grants. We're actually overseeing a wide array of things within the department, with each division having some part in each thing, and that is one of the reasons that they lumped us together under one department.
You're a
Oh.
catch-all.
Yeah.
One of the things about this budget, as I mentioned before, is a conservative budget. When we prepared the budget, there were some grants which we had not yet received word on. We still haven't received official word, but we're pretty confident that they're going to come through.
And that's included in this
That's
budget?
included in the budget. We didn't include the revenue side, we included the expense side.
Joyce is saying no
we
comments to
expect
the
that, and we're pretty
committee.
sure we are
Joyce
gonna get
knows
the,
all about
The revenue,
tree.
it's just
If she
until they
doesn't know
announce it to
anything
us,
else,
we can't
mm,
announce it or put it into the budget as a grant.
see, we
The other
hardly
thing
no
which
residents
this
there
grant-
till we
this
left.
budget, like all the other budgets, the FY '24 budget includes the one-time pension grant that we received. And that's why the pension numbers seem so much higher than anything else, is because we received a grant that's paying off some of our liabilities. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ashley and Tyler and Marissa. Also, the building inspection is part of this, and Mike's around that Mike's over here.
Yay, Mike. Good to see you, Mike.
So do these people live in
So,
Flint?
One of the things, I'm Carissa Dotson, and I work with the, okay.
And the mayor does not get
ahead,
involved
sorry.
in the
Okay.
budget?
Within the operations and finance part of the department which touches each division, okay? And in that, I think it's important that we know that all of the personnel that we put
Man-made
forth
laws
in the
and
budget
is
support the work
violation
that we
of.
do. And we have about 30 grants that
Hey,
we're
model
overseeing right
stance.
now. And in that, we have about 160 requisitions and purchase orders that are open, which are
Damn.
actually contracts we're entering into or have entered into. Of our grants, they total right now about 110 million, and they are in various stages. Each one of those has different rules and requirements for the grant itself, but also federally funded are governed by the Uniform Grant Guidance.
It looked like it's one.
State and city ordinances.
Looked like
and
it's
we're
one.
working with finance to be sure that those systems are in place to be compliant with that. Ashley's team is both compliance and implementation. Tyler's team.
So these
is
people don't
both
live in Flint?
compliance, and he's also implementing new systems within
Hey,
our
Mike.
department to make the city better ready to for redevelopment and economic development. And if you have reviewed the budget, you will see that that is reflected in some of the professional services line items. In particular, the General Fund 101-701 that you may have listed on your page as planning and development. That's actually a combination of community services along with zoning. That includes a $500,000 professional services ask for Quali, which is a new system that Tyler and his team brought to the city of Flint.
Doesn't look
to
like the
make
right
the ease of
representation.
opening and
That's
operating a business better.
and listen, I'm not prejudiced, racist, none of that. But it's interesting. The city council look like majority African Americans, but the ones who does the actual budgets are a different color. Does these people live in Flint? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just saying.
better. Then you have in Ashley's division, we have been assisting finance in obtaining a grants management system so that we can put online our application process, be more transparent, and have citizens' participation. Additionally, within the department, we oversee about 69 contracts that are ARPA funded, although finance
ARPA funded.
oversees the ARPA grant, finance and administration oversees that ARPA grant. We're actually overseeing external clients through the operations division, and then Ashley and her team are overseeing implementation. So I say that to say that we are doing a lot, and the majority of what you're seeing in this budget is personnel wage and personnel fringe, but that is because we are overseeing so much. And to be compliant is a difficult task. We're constantly
They sound like they're
learning,
overwhelmed.
and as things change, so must we. So I just wanted to let you know that that's why the budget you're seeing is as it is.
Just so you know, I actually professionally was a grant accountant, so I
Oh,
understand
wonderful.
grants.
Good, good.
A little bit, maybe not so, oh, look at Shay's going, Judy.
She was a great
All right,
grant accountant.
So,
Wow.
do you want to go first, Tyler? Talk about your part of the budget, or?
Yeah, my budget is.
And listen, and
primarily,
read some of the
Melissa said, wages
comments.
and fringe. My team is three.
The comments. Somebody said lawsuit just ready, folks. Why are they proceeding with a meeting if quorum is met? Back in the old days, Flint City Council always had a quorum.
And 2 licensing techs, and then myself. So we are essentially the first and last stop of any development within the city of Flint. That could be a residential project, that could be a small business. I am the main point of contact and attaché for all work happening at Ashley Capital's site. So we are who you start with when you
Oh,
to start a
you know, I don't mean to stop. Somebody told me yesterday that Ashley Capital is buying, hold on, is buying of a lot of properties in Flint in Flint, Michigan.
business all the way through either sunsetting, expanding, or growing that business. We also staff and support 5 boards and commissions, so these are integral to any sort of process that the city has. My zoning team and I support the Planning Commission, as well as the Zoning Board of Appeals, as well as the Historic District Commission. We also play guardians and protectors of the historic districts. We're working with friends in Oakland County to actually have a comprehensive catalog of every
And
historic district
Ashley
within the city
Capital is the
that will then
largest
include a
privately
public outreach
held
campaign to the
industrial real
owners of that
estate
property
investment
that are
company in the
outside the system.
country.
On the development side, we also staff and support the Economic Development Corporation and the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, which are component units of the city very similar to that of the DDA. That's kind of a large 30,000 square foot overview. We essentially are involved with anything. If it touches the land or touches a dollar, we are playing a part in that. This team started as just me and a planner 1 2 years ago. When we started with just this one planner 1 who was staffing all 3 boards and commissions, who was personally driving meeting materials to their homes, who was handling every sign
And they
permit,
don't have
every
quorum.
bank application, every single thing that came into the city, including but not limited to every single cannabis.
And someone said to me, at that was yesterday, it was saying how, okay, so Ashley Capital is buying up all the properties and they waiting for people to, leave their houses. Once they buy up all the properties in Flint, then they're gonna fix those pipes. I don't know, allegedly.
Cannabis application that came into the city, which now has one dedicated employee that only focuses on that because of the deep minutia that that work requires. We have built this team up from 2 people where we were also contracting with Rowe Professional Services for probably, I would say, the past 15 plus years because the zoning support was never there. Never there. So for the first time in almost, I would say, another 15 years, I was able to find a zoning coordinator who was a zoning coordinator, who moved here from out of state, who came here, bought a house in Flint. By the way, 5 of my employees
FYI.
have moved into the city of Flint, so there's that. But we have gone from a development process where your average site plan, that's just zoning, that's before it gets to Mike and his wonderful team, took 260 days. When I look at Fenton, when I look at Grand Blanc, it takes on average 35 to 45 days. That was 2 years ago. Now,
Let me tell you, Ashley Capital is in Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, and New York. Watch out now.
we are able to process a site plan on average in 35 days. For comparison, building 1 of Ashley 2 took over 2 years to go through the site plan review process. We got it done in 62 days. So we have been wildly successful at both the front end of development as well as securing new small businesses, maintaining businesses that we currently have. I was able to secure close to $250,000 for a business that called me yesterday and was ready to close on University Avenue. And so now we've got them stabilized. I was the main point of contact working with Nanograph with a $220 million investment to the city of Flint, which had a $0 investment from the city of Flint that has promised to hire up to 80% of Flint residents. That's going to work with me on bringing affordable childcare to their employees. That's going to have equitable lines of employment where you're going to be able to bring a myriad of both work, educational, and life experiences to gain willful employment.
Ashley
This
Capital
is
is
an
also
integral team that
LLC,
I could
so
not be
you
more
don't
proud
know
of, and
where
I'm
the
happy
money
to
is
answer any
going.
questions you may have about business services.
Okay, do you want to do business?
If the elected people don't stop destroying, okay, sure, tell it. Towns and cities, we're all going to be living naked and afraid. Who you telling? Gonna have to boil the water and put 2 wood together to make a fire. The man speaking No is going to tell it all. Oh, okay. Thank you, Joy. Nothing about helping the residents. Listen, people. Listen.
Some questions for him first, and then we can go
Did I
down the
turn
line.
this
We can
off?
give 5 minutes to each of us. Okay, Leon, do you have any questions? Liddell? Okay, I have a question. Actually, it came up this afternoon. I know that the clerk deals with the licensing, and then you also deal with the new businesses. How are you two going to work together? Because I know that there are many businesses within the city that are not licensed.
Mm.
How are you going to work together?
Well, thankfully, Davina and I already have a wonderful working relationship, so I'm going to do everything I can to maintain and perpetuate that. Right now, we're waiting for an opinion from the city attorney on moving that process down to business services. The ultimate goal for moving licensing down to my team is it will give me the opportunity to, with our new software CRM platform, I will be able to actually track every single business with their year over year income, how many employees they have, and their geographical footprint. So we can actually go down to the parcel line and say this individual parcel for the past 5 years has experienced this economic life. So right now we're still kind of in this liminal space of waiting for a response from legal, but I'm hopeful that we will have a response soon.
Are you working together now? Because this specific business that I'm thinking of hasn't paid a business license in 15 years.
So business licensing is like a larger conversation that I'm sure Davina and I could bore a lot of people with, but a lot of it stems back to the emergency manager and the decisions that were made in that time.
Is this something that we need to change an ordinance or do an ordinance to, or is it already in place? Do we need to
So,
overturn their decision?
so it will be many in ordinance. I'm sure you guys will very soon get incredibly bored of me and some of our boring legal jargon.
I'm always.
But our yes, so it might result in an ordinance that's going to be dependent on what legal says. But our current licensing ordinance is from, Davina might have to correct me here, but I believe 79 or 1969. So we're still like, there's still ordinances within the licensing ordinance for antiquated or outdated businesses, for example, where you can have a cigarette vending machine and not anything for like anything that involves a computer per se. So that's one of the things that my staff has been going on and going through is reading all of the language, cross-referencing it with other cities in similar size and scope and experience to Flint, South Bend, the Twin Cities to a lesser degree, Pontiac, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Charleston, West Virginia, and reaching out to colleagues in those markets to figure out how we can make our ordinance reflective of a legacy city that's also a focus on health and safety of the actual business that still provides us what we need.
Yeah, the reason why, I mean, I'm dealing with the licensing issue because it is becoming, it's a financial issue, it's a budgeting issue. And
I
I want to
agree.
make sure that we collect all of our income that we're entitled to. And if there are unlicensed businesses operating within the city, then we need to make sure that they are licensed because they have to meet the safety and all that. And I'm assuming they had to go through Mike at some point. But, so we should have a record of that. And even if you guys are still in discussions as to where it should go, let's give it to the clerk's department to start trying to collect some of those license fees. That's my feeling at this point. And that's one thing that I think that we can improve on, especially in your department. And it's a combination, it's both of you. And we didn't discuss it in the clerk's budget hearing because now it's fresh in my mind as a reminder.
I think we're pretty much in lockstep with this. This will allow her team to stay where they've indicated they wanted to stay with Davina's team. I think we'll be good to go just as soon as we get that opinion from legal.
Okay, and let's see if we can't get some of that licensing and getting these businesses licensed so that we know who should be collecting income taxes, who should be paying.
So it sounds like he trying to keep the money on his side with his group so they'll know what's going on and not for the city to maintain the I don't want to say the budget for for this project and getting the licenses in from different companies because they said there's a lot of companies out there, businesses that does not have license and they working without a license. Interesting. They are part of the mother company allegedly. Interesting.
Personal property, all that stuff, that if they meet the
Judy is not
threshold.
the one
That's an
because
integral
she is
part to
helping the
everyone that
dictator
calls
mayor
my team. If
find
you
the
are
money.
calling my team as a business, as we're talking to you, we're looking you up in BSNA to see, are you in good standing with the city? And if you're not, how are we getting you in good standing?
Okay,
So that is something that we work on, is recouping some of those losses.
all right, and that's where the financial part come in. Okay, Candace?
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening. A large crew here. Thank you all for coming. I think I'm starting with you, Tyler. First of all, I think that you've been doing a wonderful, wonderful job. You've been a great addition to your new position, which is not so new right now. But so just thank you for everything that you've been doing. Have a few questions. So with the zoning ordinances and revitalization efforts, is there a plan to maybe do a little bit more community engagement in the process, like especially like in different neighborhoods? And I'll tell you why I asked that in a second.
So what we're doing now, because we've had some policy changes that we're kind of ebbing and flowing with right now. So we are using our planning commission applications as well as our zoning board of appeals applications as proof of concept for ordinances that no longer align with the needs or challenges of the city. For example, you will be seeing a second hearing for childcare amendments. It is very difficult to open a childcare facility in this city. It's almost prohibitive. There are different laws and ordinances, whether state or local, for adult foster care. This is just for childcare, but anyone who knows anyone with a child or has a child that needs childcare knows that is expensive. Economy 101, right? Supply and demand, flood the market with more, it will be easier. So we currently have 8 aspiring small business owners who have funding secured from state and county lines to open childcare facilities, but were denied by the ZBA for various reasons. Not enough parking, not enough, what was it? They were not open 24 hours. So since when the ZBA says no, the applicant's only recourse is to either wait a year and try again, or hire an attorney and go to the 6th district. Not everyone has attorney money. Not everyone has billable hour money. So we're taking that feedback from active participants that we have now, and that's what's feeding into our ordinance updates. We were hopeful to have this be part of our ongoing community conversations with the comprehensive plan, where we would be able to garden some of those ideas from community meetings throughout the city there. Unfortunately, that's been on pause until the MOU is approved or nixed, and we are able to select a steering committee.
Okay. And so one of the things that we know is happening, and I'm with a lot of state and federal grants, right? There are some grants that maybe still up in the air. I know with our ARPA money and stuff, we're not in any danger of any clawbacks. But when we look at state and federal grant utilization, is any of that included in the budget for this department? And if so, what's the contingency? Like, what are we looking at if, for whatever reason, there are clawbacks or some money is taken back?
We have planned for our grant to come in to the planning department. A number of their employees normally would be funded through a grant. We haven't received word that we're going to be funded just yet. So that's, the revenue side is not in the budget at this point, but we expect that we're gonna hear probably before July 1st on that. I imagine.
Are you talking about the Leo? Healthcare? Oh, yeah, that's in the back.
So-
We just can't announce it because we don't have the word.
I understand. So is there any part of the budget for, and I'm just gonna say this entire department as a whole, where grants, federal grants or anything are playing a part in how you came up with your numbers? And if that is, and those grants are clawed back, paused, or whatever, frozen, or if we don't get them in a timely manner, what is our contingency plan? Like how many projects or how many different things that we plan to move forward on would be halted because we don't have that money, because we based our budget off of it?
I think that's a two-part question.
Okay.
For this year, we have it so that we can fund the department if the grant doesn't come through.
You said we can.
Pardon?
We can?
We can.
Okay.
One of the features of our new grant management software is that it alerts us to other grants that we might have an interest in. If we say we want to have a grant that will help us with planning or zoning, we put that in, and every time a grant comes up that pertains to that, they'll let us know that there's a grant out there that we should apply for.
Okay. I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Michigan Municipal League also has a funding hub. But I don't know that they don't, you have to search for the grants.
Right, we have to, right now we do manually search for things, but
First of all, isn't this a budget meeting? So shouldn't they have all the numbers together and know where the money is coming from by the time you come to this budget meeting? I'm a little confused on why we're having questioning answers now. It seemed like they should have had these questions answered before today, in my humble opinion.
it'd be a lot nicer if we had a system that would email us to say, okay, this is now open, you can apply for it. They'll even give us the application and we just can fill out the application right online with that. So it's a real simple process to apply for future grants.
I'd like to also add.
So there ain't no money coming in.
The grants, the entitlement grants that we have received, which would be your CDBG,
Mhm.
ESG home. We have Heart, we have CDBG, CARES Act. Although those admin dollars are set to last for a certain number of years. Like with CDBG, it's about 7 years. ESG is 2 years. Unless the federal government takes those congressional appropriations away from us,
Mhm.
administratively, we are okay for a period of time in the future. We just won't have the program funds to finish projects. Now,
Mhm.
that being said, I can't give you a number of where we're at in projects right now. You raised a
Okay.
very interesting question. But I just wanted to make you aware that unless they're falling back, far back in the past, we should be okay for a while. In the 279 fund and 282.
I would agree with you.
So then with that said, if something does happen and for whatever the reason, projects are in jeopardy of being put on hold, do we have a contingency plan so that it doesn't so we are able to complete projects?
That's a fair question.
Is there maybe, and I know this is such a difficult question, right? Because normally how government works is the fact that if there are grants or things that have been made, then you can count on the fact that that'll happen. Obviously, we're not there anymore. And so I'm just wondering as a city, how we are kind of preparing to not have to stall our own growth and our own development if that does happen from maybe a state or a federal level where we're not able to receive funding. Is Flint ready to still be able to sustain Flint?
Again, that's a great question. I don't have that answer to, but I would like to add that in the evaluation of that, we need to look at the size of the projects that we currently have.
That makes
And
sense,
the
yeah.
way that Ashley and her team, along with administration support and yours, have funded projects that are more shovel ready. So the hope is that we won't have a project that we start this year that hangs out for 3 years. You're aware I brought before you before the CDBG timeliness test, which is a May 2nd test.
Thank
You
you.
will have seen reprogramming resolutions in the past, maybe not this year, but those resolutions are, the timeliness test is actually saying this. We, the federal government, have given you this lump sum of money. We're going to come back next year and see how much you've spent. If you haven't spent enough, you may be at risk of having those funds recaptured. So one of the objectives of community services, and specifically the entitlement grants, is to fund projects that can be spent quickly. So my thought would be, and Ashley can correct me, that we don't have many projects that will extend longer than a year.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. This is, you all sitting here, I can honestly say, and I don't know if this is like a no offense kind of thing or a nod to how much confidence I have in your department. But as I was thinking about as things change and how Flint sustains itself and how we look at our different departments, this is one of the departments that didn't really cross my mind that much in a troubled way. In the fact that I feel like there are enough people committed to innovation and forethought, and I've got to say this better because I love all the departments. I think y'all are all committed to it, so let me retract that. But I just feel like because of what you're tasked to do with economic development, that's what I'm saying. What you're tasked to do with economic development, I have confidence that you all will be able to figure out how we can still develop and how we can still continue to build our city in a way that it almost incubates us in case of outside circumstances. I do have another question though, right? Because when you're good at your job and people are sustaining cities, what happens is you then have other people who will want to come where it's safe or come where it's sustained. And one thing I want to tell y'all, Flint, we welcome as many people as we want to. If we want to get back to 200,000 people, we'd love to have y'all all come back. We would love to. But as we grow and move, because again, I have that much faith in your department, how are we ensuring that we are still sustaining and being fair to residents here? I know that nobody up here is going to do anything purposely that can trigger gentrification. But what I just described was if we enter economic times where other cities are not necessarily sustaining how we are, and then more people come in, how are we prepared to, with some of the projects that you're talking about, some of the jobs and all of that, are we prepared to deal with maybe an accidental push out of residents?
If no one bothers, I can take the first shot at answering.
I knew you would.
That's an honest question.
Right. It's a good one, though. It's a good one.
When zoning was started because of racism, let's be very clear. Zoning was started because of classism and racism. What we have up in my department that my staff looks at from their first day to every single day is the original zoning map of the city of Flint that outlined what the land could be used for and by whom. We are also very much aware that there are opportunities.
Hold on. Okay, so Joyce said the lady talking now is going to be mad at the other lady because she said something she was not supposed to say. I need to go back. Are the residents going to flood the rep of Flint with all kinds of complaints? Bro. Joyce, okay, did you hear what she said about the people who is on the committee? Yes, she said, yes, I did hear that. Except her, the man who is talking. I told you he's going to spill the beans. Okay, this is where we go. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to it.
To make innocent mistakes, which is why we have an open line of communication from entry-level employee to me and every person in between. We also take it upon ourselves to stay educated. Right now, my staff is all reading collectively Strong Towns, Walkable Cities, and The Color of Law. And then, not to get Pollyanna, but because most of us live in Flint, have either moved here from Indiana or Flushing or Grand
Mhm.
Blanc, or grew up here, like Ashley and I,
Mhm.
who went to the same elementary school together.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Well, I'm considerably older, but she went with my sister. But not to be Pollyanna, but I'm in the same home my grandparents bought 88 years ago.
Mhm.
It's been in my family forever. To live here, and to work in this building, you must love here. And here is not bricks, it's not arches, it's not buildings, it's the people. And that's what makes this team different than other technical assistance providers, because we're going to spend as much time on Green Street as we are on Saginaw Street.
Mhm.
We know what's going on with Mike at Vern's Collisions. We know what's happening with Jason Bay at My Bee's Nest. And we are keeping an eye to make sure that those stupid lights at Dollar General finally got taken care of.
They did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
But we are actively here. So one of the things my staff does when they start, if they're not from Flint, is they go on a mural tour. I want 50 murals that are outside of a 5-mile radius of Flint. I want to know what's on them, what streets are on them, who's in those buildings, and who's on that block.
Mhm.
And until you can tell me which side of Leith Street is the east side and which side is the north end, you're still learning. So we can't guarantee that there won't be gentrification, but what we can do is keep both doors open to say, hey, please come in, and hey, please come with us.
Okay. Ms. Malone, they have connection with the community. It's two of them who have connections with the community. So we know two of them live there. What about the other ones?
So by having strategic programs like the Emerging Developer Program that you guys approved, thank you very much. Like the program that you approved with the ARPA allocation for small business grants, which is going live tomorrow. Thank you very much. So we will always work through a lens of shared equity and trying to remain open to other experiences and have them inform our decisions.
Okay. And then, oh, damn it. Of course. Thank you.
You can email us.
For the first round type thing. Leon or Liddell, does anybody have additional questions before we go
You're
on?
not gonna show us
We'll
they
come back
face.
if we need to.
I do have one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Tyler, can you do you know when that emergency
The guy who is speaking is the one who sued the 67-year-old woman for, well, he not sued. He put an order of protection against her.
developer program is going to start?
Hopefully soon. So I'm encouraged that they were both funneled through LISC, which is a CDFI across the street. They are a national organization, and so when you play with national financiers, they have an interesting relationship with expediency in that there is none. And unfortunately, due to some of the changes happening in DC, with different funding streams being threatened, different programs that they support being threatened, with the very notion of CDFIs in general being threatened, that has drastically slowed things down. But since the small business grants go live tomorrow, I'm hopeful that the emerging developer grant or program would go live early Q3. LISC has submitted RFPs for service
That my internet.
providers to work with the emerging developers on various training modules. But right now I'm shooting for a realistic but cautiously optimistic June for developers.
Say June.
Yeah, I don't want to miss building season. That's the biggest part. So if we do the first year starting in June, a lot of the developers could be ready to start moving and grooving in April of next year, just depending on where they're at in the process.
And can you also
And you know that also goes with, that's true, because you'll see a lot of construction starting in the spring once the ground is, from the winter. But you know what's going to be the interesting part of this? And I'm not sure if they consider this, whatever's going on in Trump USA, it may affect, the tariffs may affect you getting supplies to finish your projects. So I did like the question she asked, what happened if if something happens, what is the plan?
So name those books you said you had your staff read.
Yes, used to run a bookstore, so I'm always the person you go to for books here.
Are you a
The
bookstore
Color
person?
of Law, one of the best books you can ever read, but it will make you you will feel things. It's a very good read. Walkable Cities, it's all about how parking has ruined our urban footprints.
Damn.
And Strong Towns.
You say Strong Towns.
Anyone that's ever interested in urban planning, streetscaping, economic development, starting a business, working in a
He,
downtown,
did he go to school or where did he get this information from? Hmm. He's really spilled the tea. What did he say, Joyce, that he spilled the tea? Unqualified felons in the people's house we the people house holding the money. And can you explain that into layman's term for us who does not understand what do you mean by that statement? I appreciate it, Joyce. I want to go back and get that. What's the name of that book he said?
for small business grants, which is going live tomorrow. Thank you very much. So we will
Pat him
always
on the
work
back.
through a lens of shared equity and trying to remain open to other experiences and have them inform our decisions.
Okay. And then, oh, damn it, of course. Thank you.
Read. Walkable Cities. It's all about how parking has ruined
Oh,
our
that's not.
And can you also name those books you said you had your staff read?
Yes, used to run a bookstore, so I'm always the person you go to for books here. The Color of Law, one of the best books you can ever read, but it will make you you will feel things. It's a very good read. Walkable Cities, it's all about how parking has ruined our urban
Oh,
footprints.
he sound like a Karen saying
And
that.
Strong Towns.
You say Strong Towns.
Anyone that's ever interested in urban planning, streetscaping, economic development, starting a business, working in a downtown, Strong Towns and Walkable Cities.
Thank you.
Dr. Lewis, did you have any additional?
Mm.
All right, so my question is about the master plan that you spoke of and the steering committee that you're still trying to fill. So I just wanted to know, do you have enough applicants to fill those vacancies for the rest of those seats?
We have over 20 residents of the city of Flint who want to be on a volunteer board talking about some kind of nerdy city stuff, land use, parks, small businesses.
How's that
20
nerdy?
is unheard of, right? It took us 2 years to get a first ward planning commissioner, and that's one person. We've got over 20 individuals that want to commit their time. We will always accept more applications, but the number is good. The MOU just needs to be passed so we can enable the citizens to lead this effort with my team's and Ashley's team's support.
Okay, cool. 'Cause I just wanted to make sure. I remember last time, second ward, yeah, they didn't step up. Third ward didn't step up. And then I think fourth ward didn't step up, and you were missing one from the first. So I just wanted to make sure that you have the ample amount of people to choose from to select to put in those spots.
Yes, so the third version of the MOU is going before the Planning Commission Tuesday. Planning Commissions meet every second and fourth Tuesday in the Dome at 5:30 p.m. My staff and I will be giving a presentation on that. One of the new updates for this version of the MOU is each city council member, we will ask that you each appoint a member to the steering committee. So we will ask all council members to please appoint someone that you want to represent your ward. That doesn't mean they will be the only person from your ward being involved. But that's something that we have included in the MOU, and the Planning Commission meetings are open to the public, so we encourage you to come.
All right, so I want to make sure I'm clear. So, because I know that some wards had like 3 to 4 people already. So now they're about to have 4 to 5 people after they appoint someone else?
Well, the steering.
No. Let me ask you this question first. Are you trying to get the same amount of people per ward?
In a perfect world, I would love that. This is a volunteer board that, for a lot of folks, this is the first time they've done that. I don't think that that's a realistic expectation. I can see right now, I can pull, I've got I've got 4 applicants from the second ward. I've got 2 from the first ward. From the third ward, I have 2. I have none from the fourth ward.
Surprise.
From the fifth ward, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Sixth ward, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from the sixth ward, 4 from the seventh, 2 from the eighth, 3 from the ninth, and then I have 3 non-Flint residents who own businesses or work in the city that have also applied. It's up to the MOU. The MOU states the previous MOU for the steering commission stated it must be 70% Flint residents. Between my team and staff, kind of going back to Councilwoman Mashat's question, we felt it more appropriate to have it be at least 90% City of Flint residents representing the steering committee.
All right, so that definitely makes sense. So you have 4 people to choose from the second ward, right?
I won't be choosing from them. Each council member, if this MOU is approved by Planning Commission and approved by City Council, would allow each of you to self-appoint someone to the steering committee, and then the Planning Commission will hear pitches from everyone who
Good
has
question,
applied
Joyce.
as
I
to
mean,
why they
Ms.
want to
Malone.
be on the steering committee. Now that we have a fuller Planning Commission with actual representation, I feel very confident that they will be able to select a highly qualified steering committee. And I don't expect everyone who's applied to be on the steering committee to say yes to being on the steering committee. I think there are some folks who are going to hear how much involvement is required to be like, actually, I'll be on a subcommittee. I really just care about parks, so I'm going to need you to catch me at the once a month meeting about parks. I can't commit to all of this time. So, long-winded answer, but we have a good amount of people who we're hoping to sustain their interest.
Okay, not a problem. So I just wanted to make sure that we've done our part to make sure that you have the candidates, to make sure that we put the word out to have people to apply to represent our ward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, in regards to the MOU, I'm going to just take one follow-up. I met the head of the Planning Commission, which I can't remember the name because I'm terrible on the names.
Chairman Wesley.
She don't care.
I was told that the language of that MOU was boilerplate language, and how much it changed. And that was one of the things that we wanted to bring up when we talked, I think, about this when it comes back to council. And I want to make sure that we know what any changes from that boilerplate is in that. So just that's just for future reference, why we were talking about it. All right, thank you very much. Does anybody have any other follow-up questions? That's just for Tyler at this point. Well, he's kind of, but not really. Okay, okay.
Mine are just along the lines of, and excuse me if I got up and I missed it, or I came in late and you already answered it, but more along the lines of like environmental
Hey, thank you, Mike. I
sustainability and
appreciate it.
tech sustainability, tech workforce development. And because I know we do
Hugs and
stuff
kisses.
with, I don't know if it's called the Small Business Association or whatever, Ms. Laura Sigmund. I know we do work with them, right? And so when we're building out our budget, how is environmental initiatives and tech initiatives, how is that reflected in the budget? Like, can you just be a little bit more specific with how we're maybe putting more money into those kind of programs?
So when you say environmental, do you mean like land protection, land remediation? So that would not so much be my team as much as there are environmental specialists on Carissa's team and Ashley's team. I would defer more to DPW for that.
Okay.
But I will say, Eagle has a new requirement that it's called MS4. It's a certification that all properties must have if you are meeting certain standards. You're close to a body of water, you're over 1 acre in size, and it triggers like an MS4 designation. So my zoning team and I took point on getting the city MS4 certified with our colleagues in water, sewer.
And that's what I love.
BSI, of course, Jack and Mike and their team. So zoning is actually where the MS4 designation will live. So we will be able to accurately port to Eagle that yes, the AutoZone on North Dirt Highway has maintained their detention pond appropriately because we have a schedule of checking it every 5 years. In terms of tech, Carissa and Ashley could speak more broadly about their program. What I have for our team as well as for the BSI team is the program that y'all approved last year, which is Quali. It's a CRM platform, which is essentially digitizing the entire development process. So it, one, allows us to directly communicate with applicants, and two, allows them to upload every single thing that they need to for a site plan, for a permit, for a license.
So question, this guy who is speaking now, is he like a third party agency that works for the city of Flint, or does he work for a department or a division of Flint um govern governance body?
Across the initial startup phase with zoning, through economic development, through to getting your CO with Mike's team.
Okay, and then for Che and Mr. Moore, are there any other things that we are maybe not seeing or highlighting as we're asking these questions in the budget, just for Tyler's specific area that would be important for us to highlight or make sure we're taking note of?
What specifically? I mean, can you,
So, okay, we're looking at those numbers, we have a very broad view. Obviously, we have these that I'm not gonna speak for everybody else that I literally just got and looked at today. And so I'm just trying to make sure, is there anything else here that maybe I can just maybe send follow-up emails in case I read over and see something?
Yeah, you just got it today. How you going?
Yeah, I have one
Hard
thing
to
in
talk
my
about.
budget that you'll see there was a $45,000 allocation. If Chris and Phil or Che want to correct me, please do. That has consistently been for row professional services to
Okay.
handle our zoning needs. Since my team doesn't need them anymore, we're going to reallocate those resources elsewhere. We would like to work with our friends at Strong Towns, which would,
Strong towns?
yes.
Okay.
That kind of, they're an organization that harkens back to what you were originally asking me about, with sensitivity to those that are already working here, as well as specific land use attorneys, because we get very deep into the weeds. And so that's one thing that is a little different.
I'm glad Tyler was here.
Councilwoman Mushat?
Oh, so he ain't
I
know?
would say that within that same line item that $45,000 is, earlier, I think it may have been before you came in, the professional services line item in the budget that Tyler's team is also in is $545,000. That's 500 for the quali and then 45 that Tyler's speaking about. And that is the only thing that is very different from prior years.
Okay, thank you. Che, I think they understood what I was trying to ask. They answered it.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, she a little
they're on the
silly.
programmatic side, so they are definitely more
Yeah.
in tune, so thank
Yeah.
you.
The question didn't come out correctly, but they answered it. Thank you both. All right, I'm
Okay. Tyler, by the way, I just sent you somebody who volunteers watching the budget hearing.
Great. I forward that on to my zoning team and they'll reach out.
Okay, thank you. All right, who's next? Ashley's grabbed it. It's on you.
Hello,
Hello.
how are you all? My name is Ashley. We are Community Services. We oversee most of the federal grants in, actually all of the federal grants for this department. Federal, we have state grants and also local, some local private foundation grants as well. We've also increased staff over this past year. We have 4 program managers, 2 grant coordinators, and 4 planners in our on our neighborhood implementation team. And we have
Okay.
a few, within the federal grants, our major grants are Community Development Block Grant, ESG Grant, and our Home Grant. And this year, we are rolling out the Home ARP Grant, which is to address those who are homeless or at risk of homeless. So we are allocating funds to organizations throughout the city to help with that initiative. A few special projects that we have this year is the My Neighborhood Grant. It's a program
Definitely.
geared towards accessibility repairs for renters within the city. We're also, with your support, going to roll out a down payment assistance program to provide a grant in the form of a second forgivable mortgage to residents who want to purchase homes within the city, and that will be up to $50,000. Another
Dang.
special project that our team oversees is the ARPA roof repair program that is rolling out. We've selected contractors and it's starting.
Wait, if they're gonna have these programs, why don't they have a program to change and help the residents to replace the piping? Just saying.
That project. We're also really excited about the scattered site, our scattered site project that we want to rehab about 40 homes throughout the city, single family homes throughout the city. And those will also be for our qualifying populations, those who are homeless or at risk of homeless. And lastly, another program that I really want to highlight is the I'm sorry, I guess that's all. But our program, we're mainly implementation of the grants that this department receives. We've increased our capacity because, again, we have about $72 million in grants, which is a lot. And yeah, we're really working hard to spend our funds and get them to residents.
Ashley's being modest. She also has a hand in parks,
Yes.
which you do see that in the 208 budget in front of you. Unfortunately, we can only fund 0.8 of an employee for parks,
Yes.
but she has very strategically used the Community Development Block Grant ARPA funds and the parks millage and whatnot to handle some of the parks issues that are
Yes.
going on as well.
And we'll be breaking ground on the St. John's project this year, finally. So we're really excited about that as well.
Dr. Lewis, would you like to start? Do you have any questions? Parks are your thing.
So about the scattered site homes.
Yes.
So when will work or when will that begin to take place?
So planning, well, we are still going through the approval process. We haven't, received your approval yet, but the plan is to identify each home that can be repaired this year, have plans and select contractors and start work next year.
Thank you.
And what is the process to, like, say that you are to get approved?
Mhm.
So what would be the process for the residents to obtain these homes? Will it be lottery process? How would this go?
Yeah, so our continuum of care, COC, they have a database where they have residents who are who qualify. Also, the Flint Housing Commission, they have a database where residents who qualify, who are homeless or at risk of homeless, they go to them. They'll go through that process, and residents will be, I guess, qualified for these homes in that way.
She said guess, or do you know,
And
you know or not?
that's good stuff, and we're getting using up a lot of the housing stock that we do have in the city, because I know that we have a couple of housing homes and a lot in Second Ward, a whole lot, and so just seeing those occupied and rehab, it makes me happy. And also another component, this is not on the budget. I guess it's sort of kind of in kind in a way. Um, when you're thinking about that program, think about what kind of bartering system that we can have, because I do know the Habitat, they have there, you have to volunteer a certain amount of time before you get this. You know, if the city's going to go in and do great things for, you know, fix up the house and et cetera, and if you're going to give them anything at like a discounted rate, or, you know, just give them something extra if you do that, I think that it'd be a good idea to have a little bit of reciprocity from the resident. Because that was one of the things, that I wanted to see happen with the ARPA dollars. I wanted to see if you received a $15,000 home grant, then you have to do 10 hours of community service work.
So you said they're not going to give it to you
You
for
get your whole
nothing.
house done for free. Let's go ahead and see you give back to whatever nonprofit or community, city, or whatever service of your choice. Just give back to the community. Just a way to get people to. So just something that I thought.
I mean, that would probably be great if the people weren't getting sick, right? So the least you could do is give it to the, help the people to help to mend your responsibilities that has happened, your neglect, that's the word I'm looking for. The neglect about that water situation. So the least you could do, if you're going to give it to the people, give it to those who left, or those who was got sick because of that water situation. Now you want them to work for it like it's prison. They said, we're not going to give you nothing for free. Hey, Miss Carol. Hey, Joyce, the man who has the protection order on Beverly. Yes, I saw him yesterday. I'm like, oh, I couldn't see him because his face was, he was hiding his body in his face when we was there in Flint, Michigan at that courthouse. And when I saw him yesterday, I'm like, oh, he looked like he could be one of my kids. So that's what I think. I mean, it's good that they have a program to give to the, to give away to the residents or whoever in the community. Are they building homes, fix your homes up? But won't you just show some mercy and some grace and just give it to those who y'all done effed up their life? I'm just saying. She like, y'all got to work for it. Y'all not getting this for free.
Thought about with that, but that's a great idea, because I brought that to the former housing director. And thank you so much for being forward thinking. Just piggybacking off what Councilman Machette said, your team is amazing. You guys are moving us in the right direction. We want to be comparable to other positive, forward thinking, forward moving cities, and you guys are giving us that momentum. So thank each and every one of you for your vision. Thank you for staying and choosing Flint. Thank you for working hard with one another. Thank you for putting up with us when we don't have quorum to get things done. Um, just thank you for serving, and thank you for working with us. You in the back too, just thank you too. All right, and go blue. I see that you've been mad. All right, but thank you.
Thank you.
So Ashley mentioned about the home.
Okay, so out of respect for my friend, dear woke Christian, it's his birthday party today, and he's having a video. He's doing it from 4 to 9, and I'm going to stop this here, and tomorrow we'll pick the rest of this up so we can go and be a friend, or majority of you all are already friends of Dear Woke Christian, and to go over to his channel to support his channel. And tomorrow we'll finish this video up. I'm going to keep it at 1.29.41, and that's what we're going to pick up at and continue this conversation. Joyce said, Joyce is on it, baby girl, but Joyce is on it. The tenant should have took out on him when he tried to change the locks on property. He had kicked the people out. And we can talk about that too, that Joyce also. We're going to talk about that after we finish watching this video, because I did find a video with him with the GUN in his hand. So we're going to talk about that. But I want to finish this city council meeting. I didn't realize it was so long. I'm like, people. But we halfway there. So So everyone, I appreciate. I don't mean to stop the video so early, but I know I want to support Dear Woke Christian. And Mike, thank you again for the $5 holla as always was supporting the channel. I love and hugs and kisses for you and everyone and Joyce who stayed with me yesterday and H. And tomorrow, same time, I'll put in another video and a alert. Then we're gonna finish this and we're gonna talk about what your thoughts are. And Joyce has a lot, and Alona and a lot of people uh, are talking about this, and we got to keep the conversation going because if there is a cause, we got to understand what are we fighting for, not just because they're fighting. Well, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna think my hair look all right to go on Dear Woke. I'm supposed to go on Dear Woke Christian channel too. So I'm about to go on his channel, say happy birthday to him, and make sure I make the party on time. I'm dressed for the party. So when we're gonna finish this. So thank you so much, Saint and Sinner, and you also have a blessed day. See you later. Later.